Welcome back. You are listening or watching to Light Up Pichwa. This is part 2 with Professor Ibrahim Özdemir. You can send me your feedback or comments through my website lightuppichwa.com or any other platform that you are subscribed to on Facebook or Instagram or iTunes, TuneIn Radio or YouTube channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon on YouTube channel and do subscribe, share. Let me know what you think of this podcast and any of the episodes that you have watched or listened. Enjoy. Question again. How can we approach environmental problems?
First, this is a very important question. First, we have to understand what is environment, what we mean when we use the term, and because in the past, when we use the term ecology and environment, we use them only in chemistry and physics. But today, as you know, in Islam, everything in the universe is created by God, by Allah. And it is God who adorns the skies with the sun, the moon, the stars, and the face of the earth with the flowers, trees, gardens, orchids, and the various animal species. It is again God who causes the rivers and streams to flow on the earth, and upholds the skies without sport, causes the rain to fall, and places the boundary between night and day. This is all from the Quran. Yes. So the Quran presents us an environment. The nature we are living, the environment we are living in, as a sacred, place, not only something is unimportant.
Yes.
We are neglecting this dimension of Islam. So I'm trying to say that the universe, together with all its richness and vitality, is the handiwork of Allah. If so, we look at our environment, we have to be careful. When you visit a museum, the first thing, there was a lot of security cautions, Even sometimes they say, please don't use your flash when you're taking pictures, because it can harm to this some items on exhibitions. Mm-hmm. And they are protecting this for what? For future generations.
Yes.
So when we are approaching our environment, when we are interacting with our environment, we have to keep in mind this. It is not something we can buy with money.
Yep,
it is something important. It is given to us. Mm-hmm. It is given to us. It is presented to us. Just remember the first verses of the Quran. When you open the Quran, it is Surah Al-Fatiha. Yes. It is opening chapter. It says, "In the name of God, the merciful, the compassionate. All praise to be God, the sustainer of all the worlds." That's it. Yes. This is my environment. Yes. This is why I understand with environment. Yes. When I look at the classical books on physics, on chemistry, on sciences, on philosophy, I just can see the Muslim perception, the Muslim scholars' perception of nature is like this,
Yes.
The nature, the universe has been created by Allah and given to us to protect, to use it, and also to protect it.
Yes.
Then there is some limits when we are using these natural resources. Just remember, when you are taking ablution for prayer,
yes,
you can't overuse water.
Yes.
Even for prayer.
Yes.
So this is your water.
Mm-hmm.
But it means if you are not the owner of the water, and there's an ecosystem, and you can use the water, but you can't overuse it.
Yeah. So we have to be conscious in using the water also. Yeah.
Let me bring to you this term. I will also teach course on eco-psychology.
Yes, please.
So, again, eco-environment. It is eco-psychology. What environment or ecology psychologically is important for us? Just remember. Let me remind you a verse from the Quran. It says, "To God belong the east and the west, whithersoever you turn, there is God's countenance, God's face. For God is all-embracing and all-knowing. So you are not alone. You see, I was in Finland for 2 years. Whenever I just feel I am alone, I am, my family, my friends, my colleagues is in Turkey or other places, I am alone there, I just take a walk. When I am walking in the forest, I can hear whispering of the trees, the wind. I just remember this verse. When I look at with the Quranic lens to the nature, I just felt I am not alone. God is with me. God is showing His power, wisdom, and beauty through the book of nature. So this is ecological, psychological dimension of nature. We Muslims have to understand this very well. When I look at the Islamic history, especially from some Sufi sages from Rabi' al-Adawiyya, from Bayazid al-Bistami to Rumi, their books, their poetry is full of examples, which provides us to look nature, to look environment from a different perspective.
So would you recommend to look for the Muslims only through the lens that you mentioned, or anybody can look through that lens without being that follower of the faith?
This is very, very important question. Thank you. Because when I was discussing with an American friend, and I am, quoting from the Rumi, he said, Rumi does not belong to you alone. Rumi is so, huge.
Yes.
It cannot fit in the boundaries of your country. It is, there is some NGOs, doctors, without borders, or journalists without borders.
Yes, without borders, yes. Beyond borders and without borders.
Beyond borders.
Yes.
Rumi, as a scholar, as sage, is beyond borders.
Yes. Just like Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him.
Yes. Even a lady for the first time brought to my attention the eco-psychological of Rumi's poetry. Could you imagine? I was presenting a topic on environment and Rumi. She said, sir, whenever I open a book of Rumi, I start reading his poetry, I just feel good.
Yes.
I just suppose all trees are speaking to me. All trees, all birds, they are smiling to me. So this is that, all is related to the environment and all relation to the environment, and how the poetry, especially Sufi poetry, can help us, because all they are inspired by the Quranic teaching.
Do you do poetry?
No, unfortunately.
Okay, no, that's fine. Can you mention any Muslim scholars and organizations that you find are trying their best or are active today, so that we can look for them and join them, or maybe create new organizations or groups that we need to do? Can you suggest anything in this area? What are we missing and what we need?
Of course, although they are less and humble in number and activities when we compare with our friends in the West, and still there are many Muslim organizations. The major problem for us, I think, is the current political, economic, and socio-geopolitical issues in the Muslim countries and or region, which prevent people to see the problem in the context.
Okay.
And then think about it. It seems to me people have been mesmerized with daily thriving problems.
Right.
Yeah.
So how can we get out of it? Like, okay, that will remain always. There will be always politics. There will be always economic issues.
Yeah, I just try to, this is not Muslims. They are not interested in the problem, but there are some other major problems for them. One of the first NGOs comes to my mind is the Islamic Foundation for Ecology and Environmental Sciences, founded by Fazlun Khalid in UK in the mid-80s, and has earned an international reputation as leaders in developing and specifically Islamic countries. We are learned from these organizations. They shared their experiences with all of us, and they have. For example, we translated all their booklets and books into Turkish, and so it is used here. Now, traveling in the Muslim world, especially Indonesia, has very good active environmental groups.
Mm-hmm. How can we make Muslim communities, homes, parents, teachers, schools, to get interested in this area so that we are not bogged down or distracted by the other immediate issues, or otherwise then we will never get to this?
Okay. Just remember, the first revelation to the Prophet Muhammad was recite. It means read.
Yes.
What we need, let them to read, to understand the problem, and to just, to get out their lives and to visit a site, to see the problem, how the impact of our lives on the nature. And in Finland, they start from the kindergarten education. Then you can see appreciation of nature, appreciation of museums, appreciation of gardens, appreciation of animals from the childhood. So we have to start with our children.
Yeah, that's right.
Take them with us for a walk, and to just
nature walk.
Nature walk.
Yes.
And I took my grandchildren. I am going with my grandchildren.
You have grandchildren too? I didn't even ask how many children.
I have 2 granddaughters and 1 grandson.
MashaAllah. Very nice.
So I just, in the nature, I try to show them how we are connected to the nature and what nature means for a Muslim.
Yes.
Giving them some examples from the Quran, from the life of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Then they just feel we are bigger than we think.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. The environment. Yeah. So we are bigger, or we are.
I mean, we are bigger than what we suppose we are.
Okay.
Then we are not confined with our bodies. We are connected to the bees. We are connected to the sun. We have connection with the whole nature.
Okay.
If there was a, water pollution, we can't drink water. If there's air pollution, you see, just the coronavirus, from China.
Yes.
Showed us, teach us how we are interconnected.
Yes.
We are on the same boat.
Yes.
Nobody is safe.
Yes.
So, why we are not thinking in the same way about environmental problems?
Yes.
We have to think all about these things.
Yes. So we are all in the same boat. We need to pay attention to each other.
Yes.
And our environment. Is overconsumption the critical environmental challenge, as you had mentioned in your one of your articles, I think?
Yeah.